operating on a frequency of 52 megacycles by authority of the Federal Communications Commission. A test program follows. To you who've been trained technically, I need hardly say that there's still a number of problems to solve. I guess you know them as well as anybody knows them. But I think we've proceeded far enough to justify the statement, at least, that these technical problems are not insurmountable. Whoa.
This is the Archon matchup between the Final Swindle and Team Reapout. The Final Swindle is playing the dutiful healer Veteran of Hymens. It's a Brobner Saurian and Starlines deck. First of all, I want to mention it's a creature heavy deck with a creature count of 20. Resulting of that, it has a few printed Ember pips on it, in total 9. Also, it has no artifact control, which might be a little disadvantage against the deck of Team Reapout, which got in total 6 artifacts. But let us dive into House Brobner. We see some really good Brobner cards. First of all, Berserker Slam, which is one of the better cards in House Brobner overall. Then we have Legacy Relentless Assault, which can be pretty good in combination with the double War Grumpus and the 4 giant creatures. Then we have 2 artifacts in House Brobner, Iron Obelisk and Flamethrower, which is a pretty good combination, so you can increase the key cost for your opponent by damaging your own creatures. Then we move to House Saurian. In House Saurian we have some pretty strong cards like Tribute and Senator Breckus or Reto Gallim. And if you manage to build the board big, it will be very difficult for the opponent to get it away. Especially if you destroy the opponent's board yourself with the extreme risk. And you can also capture Ember with Tribute onto the Ludo and then just simply fight with it and simply send the Ember to Valhalla and the opponent will never get it back. Or you capture the Ember onto Stenopius and make it just mega strong and then benefit from the effect of Senator Breckus. Also, the Order can become a key figure as the Shadow House cannot steal as long as it is here. So if you protect it well, it can be a real problem. And with Imperial Road you can also play passive effect monsters outside of House Saurian. So in House Starlines we see triple Kirby at first, which can be cool, but since the deck only has 10 action cards, it probably benefits less from it. But never underestimate it. We also have 2 potential board wipes with Quintrino Flux and Red Alert, but I think most of the time these are likely to be discarded. Officer Quinken could also be important as both players have no match in the houses. So if you can get rid of Officer Quinken really quick, it can produce some Ember for you. A good move would also be to add the cloaking dongle to Odeak or Senator Breckus, for example, just to make it harder to get rid of these strong creatures. Now let's go to the deck of Team Reapout. It's called No Eye Cliff Cannibal. It's a Dislogos Shadow deck and has also little printed Ember on it, even 1 less than the opponent's deck. So it has 8 pips in total with an expected Ember count of 15. It has actually very good artifact control with Snack Lifter, Custom Office, Snatch and Tentacles. But I think it's actually not that relevant because of the opponent's artifacts are not that strong. I think that it comes down to stealing the Iron Obelisk with Snake Lifter so that the opponent cannot use that for the Ember control. Otherwise you can also steal the Flamethrower. If we look at the house disc, we see the double Arise, which can be annoying because we also have 7 creatures in it, so you can possibly see a déjà vu here in the late game. The deck doesn't have a lot of board control, and one of the few cards that has to be mentioned here is Three Fates. This must be kept under all circumstances if it's drawn at the beginning. Then we have Rumble and the Double Pit Demon, which provide solid Ember control. Also not to forget to mention the Pandemonium, which is a disadvantage with the smaller board. Double Succubus could be annoying too. We can then use our speed in-house logos. With library access and triple mother, they can be beautiful in big hands, so that you can draw on the full potential, especially in the later turn in the other houses. In the first moment, the triple babbles will slow down a bit, but once they lie down, they guaranteed big hands. So when there are no more mothers lying around, you still have the babbles to plan well for the next round. Unfortunately, there is no ember printed on the babbles, which is kinda sad. One of the key cards will probably be Skippy Timehawk. Denying your opponent to use his boards can be very difficult at the right moment. In Shadow, we see the good old bait and switch and a few other good steel cards, like Double Urchin, Double Nerve Blast. Generally a lot of duplicate cards in this deck. Fun fact is that House Shadows has the largest damage output from all houses. They should be used sparingly or very specially so as not to waste them. It will be important that the enemy cannot protect the Odark, so that you can really steal with House Shadows. If necessary, you can get rid of the Odark with Lights Out. My general conclusion is that if the healer managed to build a solid board and that it is too long there, he has good chances to win the game. However, in most cases, the KOTE deck will have the advantage due to its speed and will also win more and more. I think the distribution is 40 for the team Final Swindle and 60 for the team Rebound.
Come back. Right, so here are the final game.
Ooh. Yes.
SCS Steel versus Flaming Hobo, the legends that they are. SCS Steel not part of the Steel City Snufflegators.
Library access is hand. Very interesting. Nice. Interesting to see the play there for the Pandemonium. Gets the Iron Obelisk down with the Kirby. Very interesting. Loves Urchin, and then a very early pawn sacrifice. Does not see what we see, which is two Kirbys in hand. But this is definitely, this is definitely a Bob turn. Having a Gog in 9 toes with two War Grumpuses outside is just insane.
I've never seen a War Grumpus actually be useful. This is
that
time.
I should introduce you to my Orphan deck, which has got Drummonaught, War Grumpus, and Ganga Chieftain.
I've seen on paper, just never in reality.
Yeah, so discards no Glasses, no Umber, and then Reap, Bite, Reap, yeah, Reap, gets up to 4. Then plays Relentless Assault, which is going to ready everything.
Oh, getting into 7.
Reap with Gog in 9 toes, Reap with War Grumpus, Reap with Gog in 9 toes, Reap with War Grumpus,
So get
Reap
to
with
8,
Gog in 9
yeah.
toes. 9.
9, yeah, because all the extra for the War Grumpuses.
But we look at what we see in the hand here. We see Drumble, which is going to capture the 9 Amber, and then we see Three Fates, which is going to clear the board. I like what Flaming Hobo's doing here.
And then it's got a Insatiable Graph ready. Is this a Brig deck? I missed that on the playback.
No, this is the. I don't think Binate Rupture was in Call the Archons. I may be wrong.
No, you're right, I think. Well, you're normally right, so.
So.
This is very patiently played by Flaming Hobo.
It's very interesting to see SCS play the Axiom Aggressive, taking the 2 chains but destroying nothing.
Yeah, I feel that may have been an oversight.
So Jumbo comes down and we see a library access with interdimensional graft and a handful of logos.
Yeah, I guess it's going to be played this
insanity.
turn. You shouldn't have ballooned that high when there's a graft right around.
And then we're going to see Positron Bolt come in and deal with one of the Kirby's. Library Bubble comes down. Interdimensional Graft is going to put Flaming Hobo up to 11. And Triple Mother, just to look at that draw.
And that hand as well. I mean, whether you
Ludo
see
comes-
shows.
But Reality Gleamer's the perfect opportunity to punish Hobo for having too much amber. I much prefer using Lash and Gleam as punishments rather than deterrents.
Really?
I mean, I like using them for both,
Yeah.
but personally, I'd rather take the amber away.
Yeah, fair.
I like the taking of the Iron Obelisk to prevent the keys getting bigger in the future, but because it has no real effect.
So what we got here? We got a hell of a disc turn about to come.
We have, and we've got 2 Arises in hand, ready to go as well. Double Succubi is going to do some serious work with the double Pit Demon and no real answer to this in hand. This could be absolutely devastating, because that Snudge needs to die, and there's unless they go shorty here, the Snudge really, unless there's anything in Archives, which I don't think there is. I don't really see a way out, and this is going to be absolutely devastating. Kirby uses Kirby, plays here, plays Wells, brings back Scuttum with Wells, puts interesting putting Scuttum on the Kakir.
It's got to go
Does the deck
somewhere.
have tribute? I found the Gleam because the Gleam exalts when you use the effect.
True. True. That's
Still
his
one Pit
reason.
Demon. Still one Pit Demon. What do you bounce Shorty or do you bounce? Interesting. Fight with the Succubus. Take down one of the down one of the cards. And bounces the Shorty. Plays Dominator Bauble. Arise. Bring back this. Gets Drummer back, which isn't going to do anything. But there's another body on the board. But using the Succubus to get rid of Gleam is very good here. Now SES has got a bricked Shorty in hand, and Flaming Hobo's in a very powerful position. The board has got a lot of small flints to continue flux, but as we can see, that Arise is just going to negate that entire turn.
Pretty much, yeah.
We see Odak, we see Ludo, but we're just going to...
Oh no, see Shadow's turn.
We see a very interesting use of the Shadow's turn.
I wasn't expecting that, but I can't disagree. He's done Oubliette to purge the remaining.
No. I mean, looking at it from Flaming Hobo's point of view, get through your deck, look for more disc creatures, and deal with the threats on the board. At this moment in time, SES is on essentially more than 6 chains thanks to 2 Succubi, and the board just keeps disappearing.
So now you play the
Odak-
Destiny Rise, yeah.
Odak is huge here because Odak prevents these Pit Demons from getting true value. But the biggest issue is, Flaming Hobo's at 6. What can SES do about that?
Or given there's 2 more Pit Demons about to go down.
No, what can SES do right now
Nothing.
about Flaming Hobo being on 6? Yeah, all Flaming Hobo did there was get 6, and then we see Dominator Bobble, reaps with everything, gets the 7, passes. We see double Shotty come down, we'll see the Flamethrower, but the double Succubi did such a good job of slowing down, and basically Flaming Hobo just kept control over the board, and that control of the board just allowed them to get this out.
No, that was a brilliant game.
Reap
That was a
take that
brilliant
3-0. That is huge. And these aren't bad players. Both Flaming Hobo and SCS are some of the best players you've come across on the Crucible.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these are really, really good guys. So that's this week's featured game. We'll quickly going to go through the current pairings and standings. One thing to let people know is I made a couple of changes to the directory just before the show, so now we are showing correctly the drop scoring. So let's just go to the screen share here, and let me just what have I done? Sorry.
Oh, and you've added round 7.
It always adds every week after 10.
Oh, okay.
It always has one extra one. Just want to make sure I'm sharing the right screen. There we go. Right. This is useful. There we go. So is that readable? Well, let me change the table first to this. There we go. How's that?
I'm just looking at my side of it. Yeah, that looks good.
So, I mean, we're looking here. There's 2 rounds left to go. We've got D20 Merc, who's storming ahead. 15 games played, 5 wins.
Are they though?
I would say, I mean,
Comes off the duel at 1 match win and 1 key away.
But-
They're already 1 game win up.
but you got to remember, D20 Merc haven't yet had the bye. And that's going to be huge.
Very true. I mean, they've got the bye this week, so it could be.
So yeah, I mean, apart from that, it's the top 3 here are going to be the top 3. I think at the end, I don't see that changing. It's not impossible, but HKB really impressive.
It's not impossible. That's all we've got here. HKP have got essentially the second bye, so they're going to go to 4-12, which means if Primus beats Dua 3-0, or if Dua beats Primus 3-0, then HKB can overtake them.
So let's go in case to see what comes. So this week's game, what you gonna call it?
But yeah, for me it would have to be comes off the Dua versus D20 Primus.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. Right, let's move on.
Definitely a very interesting one there.
To Logos. So Sloppy Labwork. Well, we got JT Russell in the chat. They're doing terrible, aren't they? I mean, they're only on 5 matches. They've only lost 2 games. I mean, out of a total of, what was it, 45 keys, they've lost a total of 3 keys over 2 games.
Looking at the game wins here, it'd be very hard for Sloppy Labwork not to make at least the qualifier if they don't come top of their group. There's 5 keys and 3 game wins ahead.
They've already had the bye. Just was checking that one out, but yeah. I mean, the ABR's another team. I could quite happily see them coming up, and then Team Saz is here as well. They're not having a great event, but yeah, this will be interesting in the next couple of weeks. So for week 6, which match is it for you?
For me, it's probably going to be Midwest Martians taking on the Brothers in Battle.
Whereas I would say Sloppy Web at Team Saz. Now, just because Team Saz are having a bad event, I still think that'd be a really good game.
Yeah, it will still be a really good game, but I feel that the Midwest Martians and the Brothers in Battle will feel the pressure more.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Whereas Sloppy Labbook, well, we've seen their facilities, we've seen how they do their testing. They're very chilled out when they're going through here, and I could probably same applies to Team SAS. It'll be a lot of fun, but for me, I think the pressure will be on for the Midwest Martians and Brothers in Battle because they've got one slip up here could cost them their qualifier place.
Yeah. So moving on to Mars here. Here we see Hamburger Lanterns top of the table by a single key.
Yes.
No California in Austria, just a single key behind. And then we have 3 people on 3 matches with 9 wins and 7. So you could argue that any of the top 5 here could still make the qualify point.
Oh, definitely. It could definitely go either way. And looking at the pairing up for this week, it still could. The biggest thing is no Kanga Pants in Austria get the bye this week.
Yeah, so that puts them ahead, and the Hamburger Lanterns have to take Imperium. But Can't Touch This are there versus the Key Frogs. I mean, Can't Touch This with the Key Frogs would be the game for me to watch.
Yes, Can't Touch This versus the Key Frogs
They are equal third.
Equal third with great potential to
Both sides.
rocket up. Hamburger Lanterns versus a Amber Minimum would be another one for me. The main reason it isn't is because I've already checked the matchups and we don't have Lorenzo taking on Felipe.
Oh.
Yeah, yes, if we had Lorenzo taking on Felipe, I'd have gone out my way to check that or stream that game live, because a KFPL rematch would be amazing. But unfortunately, they're not taking each other on. I was very disappointed to see that.
So just be clear for those who aren't know what we're talking about, Lorenzo and K. Felipe were the two finalists in KPL Season 2. And their teams are playing against each other, but unfortunately they aren't paired up.
Mars is probably one of the strongest groups. I feel the SCS Steelers have had a bit of bad luck here.
Yeah.
They started out very strong, but unfortunately,
Had issues.
they've kind of had a lame duck second half.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. But so
That is a pun for those in the know.
it's a terrible one, but yeah. So moving on to Sanctum here. Now this group is easy. This group is now complete.
No, it's not.
Is it not? There's one game outstanding. Oh.
And this is what I was talking.
Yeah.
No, is the game? Is the game done? No, it looks
No,
like
it's
the
not.
game's done.
No, it's not the bottom one. ABI English Spare versus Bang Out Switch.
I'm looking. It defaults to round 3 for me.
Yeah, I never got around to fixing that problem.
Yeah, so I put this in the admin group. This is their last round, and this will determine who gets first. I feel bad for So Salty because it kind of won that, but I also want to let this finish in a game. They've got like 2 weeks off minimum. I kind of want to let AB Amber get in Switch finish this game off with on in the Crucible. I don't want to just go, oh, you've missed your time limit, the games are over.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting to see how it goes. And so which shows there's only one game here for us to debate, so that's the game we're going to watch. So moving on to Saurians. So, Fellowship of the Archons, newcomers, Nords, well done guys. You've lost 2 games total, you've lost 4 keys total. If you don't go through now, I'll be shocked. I mean, Bootcamp X could theoretically knock you out, but that would be...
How many Atlanteans could take
Yeah, they can knock them down, but they're definitely going to the playoffs, is my point.
I mean, it's very
Oh, sorry, so let's rephrase
unlikely.
that. They're definitely going to the playoffs no matter what, because I can't see Keyforce Granada coming up.
Well, no, Bootcamp X and Keyforge Granada are very unlikely to be able to get to above Fellowship of the Archon, because Fellowship of the Archon have the bye this week.
Oh yeah, that's
So
not going to...
it's at 6, 16, 50.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going to go through, definitely to the top half of the playoff, probably straight through, depending how Hamburg Lanterns do.
The only way that they don't go through as top of the group is if in round 7 they lose all their games without forging a single key.
I haven't seen it yet, but it could happen one day.
Oh, Ultimo saying as the captain of So Salty, he'd much rather have the last game played out as well.
That's good. I thought he wasn't going to say that. So who would you have your game for this week? I mean, I don't know. I mean, Hamburg Lanterns 2, Bootcamp X.
See, I'd go... You're looking... Hamburg Lanterns 2 group back... I'm looking at round 6. It's
Yeah,
Hamburg Lanterns 2 Manchester Mavericks.
No, yeah. Sorry, my point was Hamburg Lanterns 2 versus Manchester Mavericks, or Bootcamp X versus Keyforge Granada.
Now, see, we go back to the argument we had in the other group. Hamburg Lanterns 2 versus Manchester Mavericks is going to be a hell of a game. Although the Manchester Mavericks not as high up in the table as teams like what Team SAS were, very good players, very strong players, very competitive players. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a great test of skill for Hamburg Lanterns 2. But Bootcamp X are so close to getting into this qualifier, and Keyforge Granada are so close to denying them that qualifier, that will be the game where the stakes are the highest and the players are playing at their hungriest.
But I'd say Manchester Mavericks is only one game behind Granada, so if Manchester Mavericks win against Hamburg Lanterns 2 and they win the last round, that puts them 4-13. So
for me is the 7 keys they're behind, because not to take away from Evil East teams, I can't imagine Hamburg Lanterns and Manchester Mavericks being a 3-0.
Let's go wait and see. We'll have to see what comes out next week. Shadows. The bastard of a group, as we like to phrase it.
This group has been the bane of pretty much everyone in it, because, I mean, this week there's only one active. There's one active game,
Yep.
and next week there's only one active game. Which
Ah.
is so dumb.
Yeah, it's shit. But it is what it is. So you have.
But yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I mean.
So this week's game to watch is Keyforge Fridays versus Rocket Boots because it's the literal only game that's still going.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to sort out the drops here, but yeah, I need to sort out the drops on this page, but yeah, you're right.
Rocket Boots and Kip are very close in the score. Same with Keyforge Friday. So
I mean,
Keyforge Friday versus Rocket Boots here. They're not going to overtake Kip because Kip have technically got the bye, but this will set up the next week's round very clearly, because whatever Keyforge Fridays get here, they've got the drop game next week, and then it's Kip versus Rocket Boots next week, which could be a huge decider. And this is the matchup that Rocket Boots have been wanting. If depending on how my recovery is going, I want to record these 3 games.
well, let's see what we've got. So moving to Unfathomable, Reap Out, top of the pile here again, only having lost 3 keys total over 2 games. I mean, yeah, New York City could knock them down. Welsh and Felch
They have already had the bye now. Reap Out have already had the bye.
Who had the bye next week? It ain't Groke. So, but I think all those top teams have had the bye. Sorry, no, New York. Oh yeah, New York City the first week. So
Is
yeah,
there a second drop in this group?
there's only 1 drop so far.
So why in round 6 does it say that Baywitch and Fatherly Owen have the drop?
Fatherly Low is the team that dropped.
Oh, okay.
So Baywitch should be playing Fatherly Owen.
Okay,
Always.
that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Reap Out versus New York City is definitely my one to watch here. Seems the other ones are pretty much goodbye with. There's only 2 active games.
Yep, that's what happens when we have a team drop, unfortunately.
It's a real shame. I mean, we've had our highest number of drops in the round robin from any event, but and especially just in that one group.
Yeah, it's
It's really weird.
what did that group do? And then moving to the final group, we have Untamed. So we have 2 teams who are 2 keys apart at the top. Brain Games LV and Hamburger Lanterns 3.
Yeah.
Hamburger Lanterns. So Brain Games LV, great to see them back on form that we saw them last year. KOTE, Better Call KOTE is 1 match behind and 4 keys. I mean, this group is amazingly close. I mean, Clutch Key. I mean, any of the top 5, I reckon, could qualify.
Yeah. And the top 5 could be absolutely huge. Clutch Key have got the bye this round. Starship Blues have got the drop, so they're both going to go flying up. Grizzle Hearts Chosen have got a huge uphill fight against Better Call KOTE. But for me, it's got to be Brain Games LV versus Hamburger Lanterns 3.
Yeah, the side of the top.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be for me, because I kind of want to make it the featured game. We've done the other 2 Hamburger Lanterns. I kind of want to round it up.
I don't really want to. I disagree.
But they might want to deny us because the other 2 Hamburger Lanterns lost on the stream.
Yeah, I think we should go Rocket Boots Kip. I think that'd be a much better game if we can fit it in your schedule.
No,
Yeah.
Rocket Boots Kip is next week.
That's next week. I thought it was this week from what you were saying.
No, Rocket Boots Kip is next week. That's my issue.
So
Now,
yeah.
because I'm going to be on Thursday, basically Friday, Saturday, I'm on bed rest. I want European or
That's-
AP games to watch. Preferably European, because I don't want to be having to mess about late at night or really early in the morning.
No, completely. So let's put it through. We've got Julian from.
But Julian is always shut down, not on stream.
That's a shame. But we'll get the right one. No, that should be it. We could do the buy. Could we record the buy?
I mean, we could record it, mate.
I mean, the buy's never had any love, and they've been there since the start. So.
If you even got deck, well, I wonder what the decks the buyer bringing. What did you assign to them?
I didn't. But they have a round 2 format. I don't know who submitted that. Someone submitted the round 2 format for them though.
Which group is it?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Oh, because it goes into last one, doesn't it?
I do like the fact that bio is this team does not exist. So yeah, so that, I mean, let's just quick look at
How many EU groups do we have?
3, I think. So just John, while you check that out, this is the top list from the first event teams. I mean, we're seeing the Fellowship of the Archons and D20 Merc up there at the top. Commerce Duo at the top. Pampa Bantia had a good run, but I think they've been taking a knock back. I mean, let's see. They were going 1-2-3-0-0-3. They beat Kip as well. They beat the bye, and then why did they not get the points for the drop? Did they drop, or why did they not have the points here for the drop? Let me just check that I rendered that correctly. So everything we could have said could be utter bollocks, because we may have got a mistake. So let's just check on this. So we have Kappa 5, Kappa Pang 1, 3 now. So let's beat 1, 2, lost that one, 3, and yeah, they lost the first one. So the score is correct. They lost the first one, but got the. I'm just checking. Yeah, they lost 1, lost 1, 1, 1. Lost 1, lost 1, 1, 1. So they should be on 4 wins. Why are they only on 3 wins? So there could be a case there is actually a bug in this that I need to fix.
Which one's that?
So Panpakabicha should be on 4 wins. They won 2, 3, 4, and 5, if I remember correctly. 2, they beat Rocket Boots. 3, they beat. Oh no, they lost to Keyforce Brothers. So they won 2, 4, and 5, which makes sense. They're on 3, yeah. And then this week they have the drop, so they'll get 4 on this point. So yes, that's right. So in precisely 22 minutes they will be on another match win. Give or take a few seconds. So that's fine.
Awesome, so that's all fixed.
Yeah, it's not broken. It's just I forgot they haven't played week 6 yet. But that pretty much takes us to what our show for today. I'm going to crash out now. But guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, the breakdown and everything as ever. We do like doing the show. We are looking for people to support us and joining the admin and moderation team going forward. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Anything to close out with, Brett?
If you are interested in becoming a mod, please do let us know. This is the last week for the KOTE 10 format discussions. We are still talking about it in the Patreon channel, so this is your last chance to be involved in the KOTE 10 discussion. Just jump on the Patreon. Doesn't matter what tier you are. Everyone has an equal voice.
If you paid.
And if you paid, and then let us know what you want it to be. I'm gonna try and be here next week, but
we'll see.
Chris will basically keep checking on me and hope. But I don't like missing streams, especially because I'm going to be missing one in a couple of weeks anyway.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on you, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, it gives you a chance to practice and get ready for the Top Cut Ultimo.
Yep, definitely.
It might be a little bit longer, but we're currently discussing that. We'll hopefully have a decision on how we're going to handle the qualifier, like format selections next week.
Yeah. So with that, guys, let's end it here. Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you next week.
Right, we're out. Right.